In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the most effective way to fill up your event. So this is all about marketing. And for all of you who have been following everything that we do within Entrepreneurs Institute, Genius U, we know that when it comes to events, when it comes to marketing, this is something that we've got a lot of experience in, and we know what goes wrong and the ways to make sure that you actually are getting it right. The first thing is always knowing that if you are very clear on the predictability that for every 10 people that you are in contact with to show up for the event, or for every 500 people that you reach online, 5 show up for the event. Once you have that predictability in those numbers, then, and especially if you know exactly how much each person is going to be worth to you in the future in terms of the kind of revenues or lifetime value of a customer, then of course you can then scale it up. You're not going to have that at the beginning. And so what's important at the beginning is that you're using a number of different types of marketing. And we always say have at least 5 different pathways to actually find the right people to come to you in such a way that you can compare them and say which ones are the most effective ways. And you're going to find that just by doing 5, you're going to have a lot more people and a lot more ability to be able to measure different ways people are coming in than simply just having one. So here are the 5 different ways that we recommend. Number 1 is your community. It's obviously the people you already know. Number 2 are your partners. Those are the people you're going to connect with and work with. Number 3 is the global marketing, which is your digital marketing. It's how you get to the rest of the world and people who are already using social media. And then the 4th way is your local marketing, which is the ways that you're actually going out specifically to people who are at particular venues, like co-working spaces, local media. Those are all the ways outside of the online marketing you would do. And the final one is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. It's your existing community. It's the people that are the repeat visitors, the repeat participants who are coming back again and again, which obviously will grow as you're doing more events and as your events become more and more brilliant. So what we're going to do on this video is we're going to go through each of those different 5 points. If you actually are really thinking in the right way with your marketing team or your marketing manager in each of these 5, you should be looking to split maybe 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, like 20% in each of these 5 areas to actually bring everyone on board. So let's say, for example, you say, look, on the first event, we want 50 people. That would then mean, like, well, can we get 10 that are going to come from people we already know? Can I get 10 from a partner of some sort? When you break it down, it becomes much easier to think about it that way as well, right? And so actually almost like put your plan together for the smaller number and then say, what would that then look like as you start to scale it? Because obviously at 100, then you're getting 20 in each area. You might find some areas you're doing better than others. Well, then you can double up on the areas that are doing best. So with that being said, let's jump into it and let's start with the most important thing when it comes to your marketing, which is your market. Who are the ideal people that you are looking for who are going to come on board and be a part of this? And this is where the whole concept of being an entrepreneur has evolved and grown over the last couple of years. And I want to tell you my experience of what we see now within the entrepreneur market, which is your ideal participant who's going to be coming along, your ideal audience member is going to come along and work with you. You've seen co-working spaces have gone from like 1,000 in 2010 to now over 40,000 all over the world, right? It's just been a massive explosion of people who are just deciding that they actually want to co-work and work with each other as well. You've seen this huge growth in the number of unicorns, like billion-dollar businesses that are out there, which are tech entrepreneurs that have actually gone out there to really focus at scalable businesses. You've seen the number of people now connected with causes all around the world, even the likes of, the like massive, giving fund that giving pledge, which is what people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have got involved in. How much that Mark Zuckerberg is now giving away, how much Richard Branson is giving away. This is all about social entrepreneurship as well. And there used to be a time when all 3 of them were quite separate. The digital nomads, the lifestyle entrepreneurs were not the same as the tech entrepreneurs, the high scaling entrepreneurs, and they were not the same as the social entrepreneurs, where the social entrepreneur says, look, we're not really trying to scale that much. We're trying to do more of a localized difference. We're definitely not here for the lifestyle. In fact, the harder we work, the better, right? And so each of them were quite different. We've seen this merger where all of them are all coming together. So we're seeing many, many more people who say, no, I actually am looking to make a difference, and I'm looking to scale, and I'm looking for the lifestyle, all in one. And people are realizing they can actually do that as well. So we see an entrepreneur as someone who fundamentally is going back to the core of where the word entrepreneur even comes from. The word entrepreneur comes from the word entreprendre. Entreprendre means to undertake. That doesn't mean you're an undertaker. It means that you're going on an undertaking. So, and the word undertaking or entreprendre, which means to go on a journey of promise, if you take that idea of going on a quest, it's like the past participle of entrepreneur is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is where you get the word enterprise. So it's like USS Enterprise, going where no man has gone before. It's like going on a quest where you're effectively looking to the future more than looking to the past. That's what an entrepreneur is today. It's not someone relying on their past, it's someone who's creating their own future. So you say, well, then who are masters of their own destiny? If I am in a job, but I know that I don't really have a fear of losing my job because I always know I can get another one because I've got my personal brand, because I've got contacts. Does that make me an entrepreneur? Does that mean I'm an entrepreneur? Or if I am currently, at home with the kids, I've got some side business just to kind of make a bit of money and so on, but I'm not really reliant on anyone. I know I can actually get by on my own, and I've got a plan for where I want to go in life. Does that make me an entrepreneur? And the answer is yes. If you are a master of your destiny or designing your destiny, then it means that you're going on an undertaking which others will want to follow. And if you're in that path, then yes, you're an entrepreneur. So those are the people you're looking for. It means anyone who's there thinking, well, I have no hope, right? It's like I'm in total fear because I don't know if I'm going to have a job in the future. I'm a victim to the system. I'm going to complain about the government. I'm going to complain about the weather. I'm going to complain. Well, obviously they're not your market. The ones who are aspiring, who are looking for a change and something different, they are your market. So you're looking for positive-minded, independent, focused individuals that actually believe that they can go and change the world. And you think, well, are there a lot of those people out there? It's a growing number, and it's a number that will appeal in the right way to the right stories, which is why if you go and look at my Facebook page, for example, or the things that we post on YouTube or social media, it's all about entrepreneur inspiration. It's not about talking about the doom and gloom. It's talking about what we can do to be solution providers rather than just being problem contributors, right? So if you think, okay, well, that's the people we want to go for, then your message is so important. You're not going out there to talk about like all the terrible things happening. You're not treating your customer as a victim. You're treating your customer as a hero. You're treating the customer as a person that you want to celebrate. And the people who are the right people will then respond to that as well. So let's go through the 5 different ways you can then connect to the right people in the right way, measure your results as you go, fill up your events, and get people coming back for more. First step is, as we go through your community, what are the ways that you can build up your community in such a way that they're engaging with you and they're seeing you already as being a voice for the entrepreneur movement in your city? The first one is knowing that within the online side, if you actually take the likes of the way that people can connect up on Genius U, you can already be inviting people into Genius U that you know. You should certainly set up your own Facebook page, which allows people to come to we obviously have our own Facebook pages for Genius U, for Entrepreneurs Institute, and we also have got it for our different products. We now have one also for Entrepreneur Socials. So by actually adding that in, sharing the latest stories from around the world, sharing the experiences that you're having, is going to then appeal to the right people who are then going to share it with others. Sharing my posts, sharing the posts of those who are also leaders for different cities, all of that is going to be adding to the vibe where people say, hey, you're really connected to a group that I want to be connected to as well, or connected to information and knowledge. And so as a result of that, they're going to start following you or getting connected to you as well. This is simply about you actually having a place where people can connect with outside of physically showing up once a month. So we say Facebook page, having a Twitter feed, having a Genius Circle, having a YouTube channel ideally so you can actually have your videos in one place as well, are the things that you should put in place. And then having your own email list, which are the people that you're going to be going out to regularly to share with them, this is the next event that we're having, this is our schedule that you can be a part of as well, and bring them on board. When we're running promotions like the one this summer that we're running in 2017 on our Entrepreneur Mentor certification, for example, every time we're running something extra, things like the Fast Forward Summits, the virtual summits, these are all things that you can get involved in as well, in addition, which actually really helps to build your community. And you're going to find that in your city, you've already got people who are mentors of ours, whether they're flow consultants, performance consultants, whether they're partners of Genius U, you're going to find that they're all going to want a meeting place as well. You can operate and offer that for them, which then allows them to bring in their networks too. So the first element is make sure that you've got yourself a list that is growing as time goes on, and that you're able to go to them with great value. You're posting regularly for them as well, and take best practice from what other leaders are doing. If you do that in the right way, getting 10 people a month from the people you know should not be a challenge. And as time goes on, especially if you go out and you're networking and connecting to others in the community, that will be an easy thing to do. Before you know it, going from 10 to 20, from 20 to 30. Secondly is your partners. So the partners is a very interesting one, because as time goes on, it becomes easier and easier to get partners. So at the very beginning, they may not know you, they may not know what it is that you're doing or why you're doing it, which is all the more reason to start with people you know. So you see this happen within our events. We'll often go to the people who already are in our community. They will become our partners because they already see the value in being in front of the people in our events as well. So to actually have the logos, to have the sponsorship of people that can, first of all, provide you with all of the things that you want for the event, the venue, the food, the drink, these are all things you can get sponsored. And so having partners that are willing to do that in return for giving you the drink or giving you the venue and having their logo out and being able to say, hey, we'll actually put that also in all of our materials, we'll put it in our emails that we're sending out, we'll put it on our Facebook page. All of those things then are giving them the real value that you can leverage on, which is our entire community. So first of all, it's going to be the people that are providing you the tools and things that you actually need for the event itself. That can even include things like the design of the banners, for example, or the printing that people will be willing to support if you just ask them. The second thing are the marketing partners. These are the people who you're going to have come on board who are going to then spread the word. So whereas those people I just mentioned, they could actually spread the word within their own venues, they can spread the words within their own email list that they're sending out. You're also going to have the potential partners who already have got big lists themselves, communities that they want to have come along to your event. That includes a speaker. So the speaker is exactly the kind of person who most likely is going to have some kind of following. For people to know they can come and see them live is also a real value. So as a result, by actually saying, can we find 10 people that would actually come through our partners? How many partners do we actually need to do that? We might only need 2 or 3 partners. We're already getting to that kind of a number as well. So be looking for those different partners. That includes co-working spaces, it includes local groups, local associations, it includes like universities, NGOs, chambers of commerce, it includes even companies that are already working with entrepreneurs, whether they're banks, accountants, lawyers. Those are all potential partners. Local networking groups, also exactly the same as well. And obviously any local media, whether it's magazines, the radio station, any talk shows that are focusing at business, small business centers. These are all, again, exactly where you're working with people that have this interest in getting the same people that we're getting to. And that leads us to digital marketing. Digital marketing is the third area. How could you get 10 people who are coming through social media or online that wouldn't be coming otherwise because they're not meeting you offline? The first thing is you will find just through the way that you're doing your social media posts, provided you're doing it regularly, and I recommend at least once or twice a day, at the minimum once a day you're posting something. It doesn't have to be you, it can be your marketing manager or someone in your team that's willing to post, and make sure it's something that already you know is shareable, which means you're not just like making stuff up on the spot or just trying to create your own thing. There's a lot of really good stuff out there that you can be sharing. You see how we do it, so follow best practice. Off the back of what we're doing, we're getting about 30,000 new followers every single week at the moment, and that's simply because we're really knowing what it is that resonates with our target audience, which are entrepreneurs. Similarly, when you see the things that we're creating in terms of videos, when you have an opportunity to actually create your own text message groups or SMS groups or WhatsApp groups, when you actually are taking the steps, which are not really digital marketing, but I would say is actually as important, which is physical emails and phone calls. You'd be amazed at how much, when you've actually got people out there that are interested, that if you post something to say, hey, we've got an event coming up, we're willing to have a conversation with you, or drop a line and we'll tell you more about it. Putting that extra time and effort in can often go to more than just having one person come. It could be that one person has a team or a group of people that they're willing to bring along as well. And don't ever underestimate what the value when someone books up for your event of giving them a call, finding out what will be of most value to them when they come along, find out who else they'd like to invite as well, and that can easily double your numbers because you're really now caring about the people that are coming on board. Remember that saying, which is that people don't care what you think until they think that you care. So really put that time and effort in, or at least have someone in your team do that. And that's in the early days. When you get bigger, it's not as easy to scale like that, but in the early days, it's that little bit of time and attention which is going to make all the difference to people coming for your event. That leads us to the local market. Local market is go to other people's events. That's what I mentioned earlier. So the more you're actually seen out there, or your team is seen out there, the better. Listing the event, find out where you need to be listing in the local magazines, online on the listing. Like, make sure you get into those areas, because the people who are waking up in the morning saying, I want to find an event I can go to connect with other entrepreneurs, will be out there looking. So make sure that you're out there in those places as well. Simple things like leaflets, brochures, don't ever underestimate that, because if you are having a number of places with venues, maybe where you're going to actually have the event. You can be already putting leaflets and brochures there. If you have people you know who have got their own events, then actually having material that actually can go out there as invitations for the event are simple little things you can do which make all that difference again. And remember, we're just talking about 10 people to get to your first 50. And then finally, return participants is what will be the most important thing as you go forward, because they're the ones that will bring their friends too. So make sure you're booking them in from one event for the next event, right? Make sure that you're already giving them opportunity to know why the next one's going to be exciting. Get them having an early commitment in. And if they know they can bring people, find out how many people they can bring with them. You could already find at every event that you've already got more than the people at that event booked in for the next event, right? If by just pre-planning, having the materials there, giving them invitations while they're at the event as well. Second thing is in terms of different ways that you can actually get people really excited. We have lots of innovations. Those who already are our city leaders have seen what some city leaders are doing in terms of the price points they're setting, putting a donation in with the actual ticket as well, making people feel great about the difference they're making already. Putting in incentives or specials that people get as a result of coming on board as well. These are all things that you can be doing to really incentivize those who are coming to want to come back again and having those experiences that make them feel really special. Like I said, this is not about a network of people who are victims who are trying to fix themselves. This is a network of heroes who are out there shining a light on themselves and others. And the more that you're actually working with those who are on their journey and finding smart ways to grow forward, the more they're going to want to share that with other people as well, because they're feeling really good about being on this journey too. And that kind of like links into the final part, which is within the way that you have your return participants coming back, there are things that you can be doing in between the events which are really worthwhile. You might end up with your own coaching group or mentoring group. You might partner up with one of the trainers in town or one of the coaches in town. You might partner up with us with something like the Fast Forward Summit. But by doing something which is really making the most of our network, you're going to find amazing ways in between the events to bring people together and to give people an opportunity for them to be able to participate, to be able to play, and then bring other people on board as well. And if you do those within, it could be even just a breakfast networking session. It could be going out on a Saturday and having a fun activity. The more of those things that you actually put in to really have fun and really bring the most raving fans that you have together, the more you're going to find that's going to actually have an impact on the numbers that come to the next event as well. These 5 areas, the most important thing is that while you're going to see there's lots of different strategies you can follow, it's having 5 in the first place that makes life so much easier for you. Bring them all into that one place, learning as you go, and part of this is your debrief. So every time that you're actually going through a week, you're stopping and pausing and saying, what's working right now? What's not working? What do we need to change? At the event itself, you have the briefing before the event, you have the debrief perhaps the day afterwards or even just after the event, where you're getting together as a team, you're saying what worked well, what do we want to do to improve for the next one? And if you go through that cycle, don't expect it all to get perfect after one event or even 3 events. Expect this to be a journey where after 1 year, it's just natural that you've got 100 plus people showing up. After 3 years, you've seen that number and the entire community grow, so that if anyone shows up in your city and they're a social entrepreneur, the first person that they're thinking about is you.